This is the Fox 5 News Block.
This morning, my financial team was shocked to discover that overnight, Elon Musk and President Trump went into the city's bank accounts and seized $80.5 million.
City Comptroller Brad Lander says that money was given to the city in FEMA grants, what the city is now saying it's planning on doing. And tragedy in the Bronx. 2 people are dead after a fire broke out in a Buddhist temple. We have the very latest on that. Good afternoon. I'm Bianca Peters. Welcome to the News Block. Those stories in a moment, but first, here's a live look outside right now. Chilly out there. Let's bring in meteorologist Audrey Puente for a look at the forecast. Hey, Audrey.
Well, that's looking like a familiar sight, isn't it, Bianca? Lots of clouds are in place right now. We got rid of one system, but there's another one right on its heels. Temperatures right now pretty cold out there. We're in the 30s across many spots, including Bridgeport into Islip. It's 33 for you in White Plains, 34 currently in Central Park. We're at 31 in Poughkeepsie, and 27 is the current temperature in Monticello. Now, our winds a little bit breezy at times, and they do have wind gusts up to about 20, 22 miles per hour I saw in the last hour. So that's adding to the chill factor, making it feel like the 20s all across the region here, including out in East Hampton where the wind chill is at 28 degrees. The exception on the map here is Monticello. Wind chill there is at 18, so you definitely need to be layered up on this cold Wednesday. All right, not much is happening on the radar. We do have a couple of snow showers kind of being picked up here. Not all of this is reaching the ground, but we could see a few flurries in the higher elevations of the Poconos as well as northwest New Jersey. Other than that, I expect all of us to stay dry until this evening. That's when our next system starts to push into the region. Right now, it's located to our southwest. It is producing significant snow, sleet, and rain across much of the eastern half of the nation. The exception is the northeast right now and the southeast, and this system is headed in our direction. The difference between this one and yesterday's system is that this is going to push a little further to the north, and we're going to get a little bit more warm air mixing in. So that means we're going to go over to an icy mix north of the city, and it'll be mainly rain later on tonight as well as into early tomorrow morning. As a result, we're going to have hazardous travel, especially north and west of the city, and that's where we have a winter weather advisory. I'll time out the storm and give you some totals coming up. Bianca?
All right, Audrey, thanks so much. Well, a major fire in the Fordham Heights section of the Bronx this morning claimed 2 lives and left a Buddhist temple destroyed. Let's get right out to Richard Giacovas, who's live in the Bronx with the very latest on this. Richard.
Bianca, yes, it did do a lot of destruction here at these 2 structures, but what caused that fire, or at least what was part of hampering the efforts for firefighters to fight it, was a red car that was parked in front of a fire hydrant from the wee hours of the morning. So when that fire broke out, the FDNY says they had trouble getting the hose around that car to put out the flames. I'll show you a little bit of what it looks like right now. You can see the damage that destroyed that Buddhist temple and the home next door, leaving 2 people dead, including a Buddhist monk. Firefighters say they arrived here at around 6 a.m. this morning along Anthony Avenue. We're in the Tremont section. More than 150 firefighters fighting off those flames by 8:30. They were not able to save 2 people who were living next door to the temple. Again, one of those victims, a Buddhist monk. The FDNY, however, says that it was this red car, a Chevy, parked in front of a fire hydrant across the street from those flames, that hampered efforts for firefighters who were already battling cold temperatures. We spoke to residents in Queens just last night who were fearful over cars parked in front of hydrants. We also talked to the owner of that red car, who says she has a boot on her car from parking in front of this hydrant in the past and couldn't get the boot removed in time. She also says once she realized there was a fire across the street, she didn't want to come outside and put herself or her kids in danger.
So I had a boot from yesterday, but I had to wait for it to process in the system for me to be able to pay it.
A boot, you said?
The boot, yeah, because my car has a boot on it. So I'm the owner of that car, yeah. My car has a boot on it. And yesterday when I tried, it was too many attempts. So I did it this morning early. So I have the code for the boot. And when I came out, the house was on fire already. And I had my kids with me, so I wasn't going to hurry up and put the boot and then drive away. That's not safe.
We all know we should not be parking on fire.
Seconds count.
Yes, and seconds count when we're fighting fire, and that slows us down.
No word on if that woman will face any charges. Her car was towed earlier today. As for these 2 buildings, the building department is looking at if there were any violations. Still no cause on the fire. That's being investigated. We're live in the Tremont section of the Bronx. Richard Giacovas, Fox 5 News. Bianca.
All right, Richard, thank you for that. Meanwhile, some more developing news. City Comptroller and mayoral candidate Brad Lander says the White House took back the more than $80 million it gave to the city in FEMA grants. Lander says the action is illegal. And it comes after earlier this week, Department of Government Efficiency head Elon Musk claimed that money was being wasted on luxury hotels to house illegal migrants in the city. Now, the city says it is conducting an investigation to determine what happened to the tens of millions of dollars. City officials also say they are currently working with the White House to get the money back. Meanwhile, some breaking news now. President Trump says negotiations to end the war in Ukraine will begin immediately. He made these remarks following his phone call today with Russian President Vladimir Putin. President Trump posted both leaders. They want to see an end to the war that will lead to millions of deaths already. He also says he did have a good conversation with an advisor to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky today. There is no word when negotiations to end the war in Ukraine will actually take place. And Israeli families camping outside of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's Jerusalem residence, calling for him to negotiate the release of the remaining hostages. Hamas threatened to delay that next scheduled release of hostages on Saturday, accusing Israel of violating the agreement of that ceasefire. In response, Netanyahu warned Israel would resume fighting if hostages are not freed on Saturday. Since that ceasefire took effect, Hamas has released 21 hostages in a series of 5 exchanges for more than 730 Palestinian prisoners. And turning now to Washington, D.C., the Senate has just confirmed Tulsi Gabbard as the next director of national intelligence. Gabbard is a veteran and a former Democratic congresswoman from Hawaii. She was Donald Trump's pick to lead the department, and Gabbard was an unconventional pick, given her past comment sympathetic to Russia, a meeting that she once held with Bashar Assad and previous support for Edward Snowden. Now, Gabbard was confirmed by a 52-48 vote, with Democrats opposed in the sharply divided Senate, where Republicans hold a slim majority. Closer to home, a major infrastructure deal on Long Island was just announced. Governor Hochul says the state will invest $150 million to connect the Ronkonkoma Long Island Railroad Station with MacArthur Airport. She added that she wants this project to be complete as soon as possible. Governor Hochul says that moves like this will keep residents on Long Island, but she also wants to see more housing in the area as well. And to Democrat Ken Jenkins, who has won the special election for Westchester County Executive. Now, Jenkins beat Republican Christy Schulte to serve until the end of this year in the office that he was appointed to fill last month. The results in the very latest results show Jenkins beating Schulte with 64% of the vote. Jenkins replaces George Latimer, who stepped aside in January after 7 years to take up a House seat that he won in November. Both Jenkins and Schulte have said that they plan to run for a full 4-year term come November. All right, right here in the city, if you do want to try and make all the traffic lights on a big stretch of 3rd Avenue, you're going to have to slow down because the signals have been reset. Fox 5's Linda Schmidt has more on the timing of the traffic lights.
This is about improving safety.
Department of Transportation Commissioner Idanis Rodriguez says a 36-block stretch of 3rd Avenue between 60th and 96th Streets has been the scene of too many crashes in recent years. City stats show there were an average of 59 crashes with injuries per year between 2020 and 2023. There were 5 fatalities. 4 pedestrians and 1 cyclist. So the city DOT has retimed the traffic lights to encourage drivers, cyclists, and e-bikes to travel at about 15 miles per hour. And the payoff is you will rarely hit a red light.
They will always be moving for drivers and also for those who use e-bike, regular bike, scooters.
Now the lights remain green for a longer period of time. We tested it out at about 7 o'clock Monday night, and it worked. We did not hit 1 red light driving up 3rd Avenue to 96th Street. We tried it again Tuesday night at about 6 o'clock. There were more vehicles on the road, and we hit just 2 red lights. Is it making it easier for you to drive?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Making it faster?
It is faster, yes.
Now it's easy to have less traffic too.
But a big complaint from many is still the out-of-control cyclists, e-bikes, and scooters that do not follow the speed limit and zigzag all over the streets and sidewalks.
come up, behind you. They almost run you over.
Whipping all around. I've seen him hit a couple people a couple times.
Crossing the street, they don't stop.
Transportation Alternatives is a group that promotes cycling and also designated lanes for cyclists and e-bikes.
Absolutely everyone who is on the road, walking, biking, anything they're doing, everyone should be following the rules.
And that was Linda Schmidt reporting. Meanwhile, it's a highly anticipated opening of a legendary New York restaurant at Grand Central Terminal today. Melba's is moving to the heart of Midtown with a new takeout counter offering Southern-inspired dishes by chef Melba Wilson. The menu includes options like her Southern fried chicken and eggnog waffles. And Melba's now has multiple locations with spots in Harlem, Woolman Rink, and the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Meanwhile, if you missed out on Paul McCartney's surprise concert last night, you're going to have a chance again tonight if someone with a ticket is nice enough to invite you. The Beatles legend is holding another concert tonight following the one on the Lower East Side last night. McCartney just announced the second show at the Bowery Ballroom tonight at 6:30. Tickets already sold out, as you can guess, but yesterday's show also sold out and half an hour before that announcement was made. We caught up with some lucky ticket holders. Here's what they have to say.
I'm only 22 and I've been obsessed with the Beatles, and I don't really have a chance to ever see these guys. So Paul and Ringo are my last two shots.
I've been a fan since I was 11 years old, so this I never thought would happen in my lifetime.
McCartney's camp told us the surprise concert was because that he's in New York often and enjoys playing at intimate venues. All right, one more look outside. Audrey Puente, it doesn't look so great out there.
No, and it's actually going to get worse, Bianca, unfortunately. Lots of clouds in place right now. The precipitation looks like it should hold off until after the evening commute. Roughly after about 9 or 10 o'clock, we're going to start to see snow, sleet, and rain envelop the tri-state area. And most of the icy mix will be off to the north here. We can start off with a brief moment of a bit of iciness across the city, but then that will quickly shift to the north here. We have a warm air mass that's actually going to come in from the south, so anything of icy nature will switch over to rain overnight. And we're expecting mainly a rain event from the city across New Jersey and Long Island. Tomorrow morning for the commute, early commuters may have some slick roads, and we'll have a couple of isolated showers left over. But by the afternoon, we should see the sun breaking through the clouds, and we'll have a relatively quiet Friday. In fact, we're expecting plenty of sunshine and a nice quiet day as high pressure will be in control. Enjoy it because we have another system coming in ahead of us for the weekend. So snowfall amounts pretty minimal compared to our last couple of systems, and rainfall will be more significant here. We're going with about, let's say, 1/4 of an inch to almost a 1/2 an inch across parts of the region. And as I mentioned, we have another system coming in ahead for this upcoming weekend. Bianca?
All right, Audrey, thanks so much. Well, that is your news block for now. I'm Bianca Peters. Thanks for joining us. Tune into the 5 o'clock news on Fox 5 and right here on Fox Local for all the day's news as it develops. We'll see you back here tomorrow.